you say snow?
So when you hear the term storm chaser, most people think of the Hollywood version we all grew up seeing. Think the movie Twister or the TV show Storm Chasers on Discovery Channel. The image is of people chasing after massive destructive supercells, tornadoes swirling, chaos everywhere, and high stakes danger. But honestly, that's just a very small slice of what storm chasing is really about. What you don't see is the hours of waiting, gas station meals, the mosquito armies, and the crushing disappointment when Mother Nature decides to ghost you. Storm chasing isn't exactly a walk in the park. Far from it. It'll knock you down way more often than it lifts you up. When I first started, the field was overwhelmingly male-dominated. And let's just say, showing up as a self-taught woman with zero meteorology training came with a hefty dose of imposter syndrome. How many times have you guys felt that? That nagging whisper in the back of your head on the, are you supposed to be here? Are you even qualified? Yeah, imposter syndrome and I were besties. But here's the thing, I didn't let that stop me. I dove headfirst into soaking up every little bit of knowledge I could. From peer networks, online resources, and just good old-fashioned trial and error. And believe me, there was a lot of errors. There's a joke that meteorologists are the only profession that can be wrong 90% of the time and still keep their job. Well, storm chasing's about the same. That's how tough forecasting can be. You can spend days analyzing model data, carefully picking what you think might be the perfect location, only to end up staring at clear blue skies, or worse, 6 hours into your trip, you realize the most action you're gonna see is a herd of cows judging your life choices. But you know what? Sometimes you get it right, and when you do, you're standing under that massive sky, watching the storm of a lifetime. It makes every failure, every long drive, and every self-doubt well worth it. But let's be honest, most of the time, storm chasing is this.
What the hell?
Stop saying that.
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Stop.
What the hell? What the hell?
You know, it's funny. 5 years ago, I never would have pictured myself standing up here today. I was perfectly content at hiding behind the lens and avoiding the spotlight at all costs. The idea of standing in a room full of strangers talking for an hour? Absolutely not. Even now, I'd be lying to say if the nerves weren't creeping in a bit. Hence the cue cards. Does anybody want to take my spot? You look qualified. I got cue cards and everything. I did. Okay, I guess I could do this, but it's gonna mean that you guys are gonna have to listen to me for the next little bit. The one thing I can tell you guys is that growth never happens in comfort zones. You need to push past your fear, test your limits, just to see exactly what it is you're capable of. So I pushed myself, stepped in front of the camera, found my voice, and let my personality shine.
Do you ever look at someone and wonder what is going on inside their head?
I never knew you were this weird.
Really?
No, because you kept it. We worked together for a couple of days, and then
I know.
You're absolutely mental.
In a nice way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so.
So let me ask you guys, have you ever had a dream you let slip away? Maybe it felt too big, too unrealistic, or maybe life just got in the way. Well, tonight I want you to think about that dream again and what you would do if you could reach out and grab it. And I want you to keep that dream in your mind as we go through this evening. In this presentation, I'll take you on a journey through my life, my artistic vision from my rural Saskatchewan roots, to my adventures in storm chasing and photography. It's a story of resilience, passion, and the relentless pursuit of dreams. Through my lens, you'll witness the raw beauty and intensity of storms, and it's a perfect metaphor for the strength and determination that's needed to chase your dreams, even in life's darkest moments. The message is simple. Don't wish upon shooting stars. Wish upon bolts of lightning. Embrace the power, energy, and unpredictability of life's storms to fuel your dreams.
I feel a storm coming. I feel a storm coming. This time we're not running. Are we gonna make it out alive? Gonna make it out alive. I feel a storm coming. I see the sky falling. But I'm sending out a warning. Are we gonna make it out alive? Gonna make it out alive. I'll be waiting for you. So come on, and give me your best shot. Yeah, come on, and I'll show you what I've got. I feel a storm coming. So come on, and give me your best shot. Yeah, come on, and I'll show you what I've got.
Hi, I'm Jenny, a 14-year veteran weather chaser and self-proclaimed coffee addict. So if there's wild weather brewing in the Canadian prairies, you can bet I'm caffeinated and not far behind. Tornadoes, hails, floods, blizzards, and polar vortexes, I've documented it all. And after nearly 20 years in healthcare, I made the switch to media because apparently I love chaos and unpredictability. People often ask me where this passion came from. What made me want to stand in front of a destructive storm? You know, I can trace it back to a defining moment. Little blonde hair, bright-eyed, 7-year-old me. That's her. Well, I was playing in a friend's backyard on a beautiful Saskatchewan day. We went from sunshine to just about black skies in a matter of minutes. We were set up in a tent, playing inside, and the wind suddenly picked up. Before we knew it, the tent with us inside was airborne, smashing against a fence. I scrambled out and saw trees and trampolines flying everywhere. My friend was absolutely terrified, but I was absolutely awestruck. And I can remember thinking, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen in my life. We were trapped outside in a massive plow wind, unable to open the house door due to the force of the wind. We scrambled over to the other side of the house for safety. But instead of fear, I felt wonder of the sheer power nature had. Anyone here afraid of storms? I think my friend Leah definitely did after this instance. That experience, though, taught me a great lesson that I have carried with me throughout my life. Sunshine can change to dark skies quickly. Storms may rage with unstoppable force, but they never last forever. No matter how fierce the winds howl or how heavy that rain falls, the skies will eventually clear and the birds find their song. Life carries on, changed, but never standing still. As a child, I was captivated with storms, and you could often find me with my nose pressed up against the second-story window of my old farmhouse, watching the storms roll in, mesmerized by the dancing lightning across the sky. Growing up, one of my dad's favorite movies was The Wizard of Oz, and we watched it more times than I can count. Has any of you guys seen that movie? You know, funny enough, I actually played Glinda, the Good Witch of the South, in our school production of Oz. Pretty fitting considering my cheery nature and the path my life ended up taking. In 1996, my family moved from Wadena to Kindersley, what my aunt called the Tornado Alley of Saskatchewan. She wasn't wrong. That summer, we had at least one tornado warning a week. And for a storm-obsessed kid like me, it was probably the best place I could have ended up. You know what else happened in 1996? Twister hit the big screen. And let's be honest, when you guys heard Storm Chaser was presenting tonight, I bet you that movie was one of the first things to pop in your mind. I know in just about every interview I do, they ask me that question. Is Twister really what storm chasing's like? The answer is no, we're not tying ourselves to pipes with belts to avoid being sucked up in some massive tornado. But the movie, it did inspire a whole generation of storm chasers, myself included. So I, of course, have to share with you one of the favorite scenes, my favorite scenes from the movie.
Julia, I know you're upset. You just gotta breathe. We both just gotta breathe.
Cow. I gotta go, Julia. We got cows. Another cow.
Actually, I think that was the same one.
And I even own a t-shirt from the original one. We've got cows. And funnily enough, I've never seen one fly in a storm. I'm very disappointed. So, like Joe Harding, I didn't just want to watch a storm. I wanted to be in it. So there I was, 12 years old, pedaling my bike down to the end of the block to the edge of town, just to chase the thrill of a tornado. In hindsight, it probably wasn't my brightest idea. I guess I was lucky that there was no actual tornadoes in those storms. By the time I was 16, I upgraded from a bike to a car. So whenever a storm rolled in, you could usually find me parked somewhere out on the outskirts of town, watching the skies. I made sure I kept a safe distance, mainly not to put any dents in my mom's 86 Grand Marquis. But out there on those back roads was where I truly learned how to read a storm. here have wished upon a shooting star? It's a little funny when you think about it, you know, believing that a streak of light across the sky could make dreams come true. But in that moment, it gives us something precious, a glimpse of that childhood wonder we used to have. As kids, we believed anything was possible. We wished on stars, dreamed big, believed we could be whatever we wanted to be. But as we grow up, those stars tend to fade from our eyes. Doubts creep in, fear takes over, and our passions get pushed aside in favor for what is expected of us. Yet no matter how much time passes, those dreams never fully disappear. And every now and then, when a shooting star blazes across the sky, we're reminded of them. For me, my dreams and passions do not live in the stars, they live in the lightning, streaking across the sky with raw power and electric energy. There's a strength in that, and somehow it always brought me a sense of calm, washing away the stresses of life. As I said earlier, like Joe Harding, I didn't want to just witness the storm. I wanted to stand in front of it and face it. But you know what? Life moved on. I grew up like everybody else, and those passions faded into the background as I worked, raised my kids, coached, volunteered, and just lived life as what was expected. I have no regrets spending those years raising my two incredible children, being there for every high and low, cheering them on in their successes, and lifting them up in their struggles. I raised them to be strong and independent, which kind of backfired when they were teenagers, and suddenly they didn't need me anymore. So I found myself searching for something to kind of fill that space. But looking back, I think that was one of the greatest gifts I gave them. Was not just telling them that their dreams mattered, it was showing them. By chasing my own passions, I taught them it's never too late to pursue your dreams. It took me a little bit to find that spark and reignite that energy and passion in me, but then one day as I watched the storm roll in, I picked up a camera, pointed it at the sky, and with the press of a shutter and a bolt of lightning, that passion I had as a child came rushing back. And with every storm I chased and every bolt of lightning that illuminated the sky, the fire in me burned a little brighter. So over the next few years, I traveled across the Canadian prairies, capturing the raw power of severe weather and honing the skills I had unknowingly built, watching the skies pass as a child. I poured my energy into building a thriving photography business, opening my first studio in 2018. While balancing my healthcare job, running a studio, and raising my family, I never gave up on storm chasing. Without any formal meteorological training, I managed to carve a name out for myself through relentless learning, soaking up knowledge from my peers, online resources, and refining my forecasting skills. Perfecting the art of being at the right place at the right time. My work found its way into magazines, aired on TV screens worldwide, and even earned awards. I freelanced for major news organizations, including the Weather Network, and somewhere along the line, I managed to pick up the title Blizzard Queen of Canada for my winter storm coverage. Kind of an ironic twist because I actually can't stand the cold. But in true Canadian fashion, people love watching us take on Mother Nature at its worst.
I feel a storm coming. I feel a storm coming. This time we're not running. Are we gonna make it out alive? Gonna make it out alive. I feel a storm coming. I see the sky falling. I'm sending out a warning. Are we gonna make it out alive? Gonna make it out alive. I'll be waiting for you to come.
So who's here's had a dream they could never really let go of? Big or small? I'd like to know what ignites passion in you. What's the one thing that keeps calling you back no matter how much time passes? What do you guys like putting in front of your lens? What excites you? Anybody? Which one? Milky Way and stars. Night sky is absolutely gorgeous in Saskatchewan. Anybody else? I've accomplished a lot in my life, things I'm incredibly proud of, including standing here in front of you guys today. You need to believe me, as I said earlier, 5 years ago, I never would have imagined doing this. Public speaking, absolutely not. I would have rather chased a tornado barefoot. But here I am. Now, even with all those successes, life has its storms too. The kind that knock you flat, rearrange everything in front of you. I'm sure many of you have had those moments in life that brought you to your knees. Can I get a show of hands who here has had a plan for their life and had it completely derailed? Yeah, me too. My life is no exception. No matter how much hard work you put into building a solid foundation, sometimes life is a tornado and it comes along and levels it to rubble. For me, the first tornado of my adult life hit in 2020 when COVID hit and wiped out my photography business overnight. With sports, weddings, family gatherings all on hold, suddenly there was nothing left to capture. So I had to close down my studio, pack up my dream, and figure out what came next. Thankfully, I still had my healthcare job to fall back on, but let's be honest. Jumping back into healthcare during a pandemic wasn't exactly ideal. It was like trading one disaster for another. But lucky for me, nothing is more socially distanced than storm chasing. It's just me, my camera, and the great big sky. And while everyone else took shelter, I ran straight into the storm. With storms, the real challenge always comes in the aftermath. Picking up the pieces, putting in the work, and rebuilding. So that's exactly what I did. During the pandemic, I noticed something. People were craving positivity, laughter, and light. Turns out, a little bit of humor and a crazy Canadian willing to stand out in every kind of weather possible was exactly what they needed. So my following grew rapidly, and the moment I knew I had really made it was seeing this pop up on the Weather Channel in the US.
If I get lost. Woo! Okay.
Making Canada proud. So you know those places that always seem to be in the path of destruction? The ones that get hit with disaster after disaster, like Mother Nature just has it out for them. I think I might be one of those places. Just as I was starting to regain my footing and rebuild, another storm rolled in. But this time it was one I couldn't outrun. In 2022, my son was diagnosed with liver disease. That summer, instead of chasing storms, I found myself navigating hospital hallways and specialist appointments. Nothing really quite prepares you for that gut-wrenching reality of facing your child's possible mortality. Let me tell you, I have never felt so powerless. But the skies are a little bit unpredictable, but for now, the forecast does look a lot brighter. And there's one thing I've managed to teach my kids through the years, and that's bringing a lot of humor to bad situations. And my son is no different, so he still loves to give me a huge hard time about storm chasing. And make sure I know that I'm not cool, and how interesting can clouds really be, Mom? Yeah, okay, kid, go back to playing your video games and just let me have my fun. Now, of course, we can't end in two disasters because good things come in threes. In 2023, if you thought I'd been through enough storms, plot twist, there was a little bit more. That year, life threw me another upheaval, and this time quite literally. On Thanksgiving Day, I took an unexpected 8-foot plunge off my roof. And let's just say, gravity did win that round. By the way, 0 out of 10, do not recommend. And for the record, those pothole-ridden highways we like to complain about here in Saskatchewan, they feel a whole lot worse in the back of an ambulance with a broken back. I'm incredibly lucky to be standing here today because it could have been much worse. With 3 fractured vertebrae and 8 months of physiotherapy, I slowly regained my ability to walk normally. Well, as normal as my clumsy feet will allow, I will trip over flat surfaces, so it's miraculous I'm still here today anyways. That fall didn't just knock me down, it completely twisted my life path into something unrecognizable. It forced me to face a hard truth that my back was not going to last another 15 years in healthcare. So there I was, nearly 40 years old, rethinking everything. My career, my future, my purpose. And let me tell you, starting over at this stage in life is kind of terrifying. By now you assume you got life figured out until life shows you otherwise. So while I was recovering, a news content role opened up at a local radio station. And you know what? It felt like a perfect fit. Much like storm chasing, I had no formal training in journalism or radio, just a relentless drive to learn and a knack for storytelling. I've never been afraid to step up to a challenge, and you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I took the leap, tossed my hat in the ring, and almost to a year to the date of falling off the roof, I was hired on with Golden West Broadcasting. And it's been an absolute blast. But in my style, one thing you should know about me is I never do anything halfway. So within just 8 months, I have climbed from reporter to content director for all of West Central Saskatchewan. Turns out storm chasing prepared me well. Grit, determination, and the ability to read the sky translated surprisingly well into news reporting. Who knew? Luckily, the company loves my weather coverage, so I still get plenty of time to hit the road and get out under those active skies. And they also let me bring some of that Jenny charm and humor to my daily forecasts. Buckle up, West Central Saskatchewan. It's time to play Saskatchewan's favorite game. What's the weather actually going to do? Today is sunny with a high of 24 and looking at a low of +5. Friday is going to be sunny. Winds from the south will be at 20, but you're in Saskatchewan, so it'll probably feel like 50. Looking at a high of 29 and into the evening clear and a low of 10. That's your weather. Don't worry though, the forecast will change before you finish your morning coffee tomorrow. So tune back in and see what's up. I'm Jenny Hagan with your West Central online weather. Now I know life will send more storms my way, that's inevitable. But here's the thing, each one has only made me stronger, more resilient, and more determined to keep moving forward. I have the confidence that I'll be able to rebuild anytime. If storm chasing has taught me anything, it's this: you can't control what life will bring you. The only thing you can control is how you're going to react to it. So choose to rebuild, choose to rise, and choose to chase your passions and fill your life with joy. Allowing yourself to dream again, giving yourself permission to let your passion drive you, that's as powerful as any storm you will ever face. And that's the real power of the storm. It can't be stopped. It can't be contained. It's going to do what it wants to do, regardless of what stands in its way. At the start of this presentation, I asked if you ever had a dream you let slip away. I want you to bring that dream back up to the surface and think about it. What if you could reach out and grab it? What if it was still possible? Does it still feel too big, too unrealistic? Or is it just waiting for you to harness the energy of the lightning and take that first step?
My power's turned on. Starting right now. I'll be strong. I'll fight my fights on. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
And a little fun tidbit from one of my chase partners, Mike.
There's always a maybe with Jenny.
There is. You gotta be hopeful.
Yeah, she's a
Positive
very
thinking.
positive individual. It's disgusting.
All right, we can wrap her up then. Thank you, everybody.